Have you ever wondered if the pain you feel every day is just part of getting older, something you simply have to accept? Most seniors think this pain is just a part of aging. But what if it isn't? What if your aching knees, your stiff back, or that sharp sting in your neck every time you turn your head wasn't actually caused by aging itself, but by something preventable, something you could change naturally, gently, and even overnight? I know that sounds unbelievable, but stay with me, because what I'm about to share may completely change how you think about pain, aging, and healing. After more than a decade working closely with older adults in both clinical and rehabilitation settings, I've discovered something that transformed not only how I help my patients, but how I view the body's ability to recover. Aging doesn't have to equal pain. I've seen seniors in their 70s and 80s restore mobility, reduce chronic joint pain, and rediscover energy, not through surgery, not with endless prescriptions, but with something so simple, it's been hiding in plain sight. You've heard of medications and physical therapy, but no one talks about this ancient remedy, a remedy involving nothing more than a patch placed on the soles of your feet. Yes, your feet. While it may sound unusual at first, give me just a few minutes to show you how targeting specific points on the feet using safe, natural ingredients can activate your body's own healing response. Because here's something most people don't realize. Your feet aren't just for walking. They're a neurological map, home to over 7,000 nerve endings that connect directly to your spine, joints, and internal organs. When we stimulate the right points, especially with anti-inflammatory, circulation-boosting ingredients like capsaicin, menthol, and salicylates, we can trigger a powerful cascade of healing effects throughout the body. Imagine sleeping through the night without joint pain, climbing stairs without gripping the railing, or playing with your grandchildren again, without wincing in discomfort. These aren't just dreams. They're real stories from real people I've worked with. And today, I'll walk you through how it works, why it works, and what you can do, starting tonight, to begin feeling better. But first, I have a small favor to ask. If you've ever felt like chronic pain was slowly stealing your independence, please hit the like button so others know they're not alone. And if you're ready to take back control of your health, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We post real, practical senior health solutions every single week. And one more thing. If you find yourself surprised, amazed, or even just curious as we dive deeper, leave a comment below with the word WOW. Trust me, you'll know the moment when it hits you. Now let's keep going, because in the next part of this video, we're going to explore exactly how a foot patch, yes, a simple patch on your sole, can ease back pain, reduce swelling in your knees, and even improve shoulder and neck stiffness. The science behind it is more fascinating than you might expect, and it just might be the game-changing solution you've been searching for. 1. What is a foot patch and how does it work? You've heard of pills and physical therapy, but nobody's told you about this ancient method until now. It may sound too simple to be true, but sometimes the most powerful solutions are the ones hiding in plain sight. So what exactly is a foot patch, and why are more and more older adults turning to it as their go-to remedy for back, knee, and joint pain? A foot patch is a small adhesive pad infused with natural therapeutic ingredients, most commonly capsaicin, salicylates, and menthol. These ingredients are known for their pain-relieving, anti-inflammatory, and circulation-boosting properties. But what makes foot patches truly special isn't just the formula, it's where and how they're applied. The soles of your feet aren't just the foundation of your mobility. With over 7,000 nerve endings, they form a neurological gateway to nearly every major system in your body. In traditional Eastern medicine, this is the foundation of reflexology, the belief that specific zones on your feet correspond with your internal organs, joints, and muscle groups. When stimulated correctly, these zones can trigger a cascade of healing responses throughout your entire system. Applying a foot patch to strategic points, like the heel, arch, or ball of the foot, activates this powerful nerve network. Capsaicin increases blood flow by gently dilating the vessels, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach stiff or inflamed areas. Salicylates, similar to aspirin, help reduce inflammation at its source. And menthol, known for its cooling effect, soothes the area while blocking pain signals at the nerve level. Together, they don't just mask symptoms, they engage with your nervous system to encourage natural recovery. Even more fascinating is how these patches activate what researchers call the cutaneous visceral reflex arc. By stimulating nerve endings in the feet, signals travel to the spinal cord and back again to target specific organs or areas of muscular imbalance, bringing stability to where the body has drifted out of balance. This process, while rooted in complex neurology, feels incredibly simple. A patch goes on, and relief begins. Many of my senior patients have described it as waking up lighter, more energized, or feeling that a part of their body has simply switched back on. There's also the often overlooked detoxifying effect. Because gravity pulls toxins down, the feet become a natural collection point for waste buildup. The soles of the feet, with their thin skin and dense network of capillaries, become an ideal location for drawing out toxins overnight while the body is naturally repairing. In fact, some users report discoloration or sticky residue on the patch in the morning, a physical reminder that the body has released something harmful. Does this mean foot patches are a miracle cure? Of course not. But in my decade of experience helping older adults manage chronic pain and fatigue, I've seen enough transformations to know this. For people with reduced mobility, poor circulation, or persistent joint discomfort, this small, simple patch can make a surprisingly big difference. It's non-invasive, affordable, and easy to use, right from the comfort of your own home. So if you've ever thought, I wish I could feel better without another prescription, this might be exactly what you've been waiting for. A patch on the bottom of your foot tonight could help you rise tomorrow with less pain, more strength, and renewed confidence in your body's ability to heal. And now that you know what a foot patch is and how it works, let's take it one step further. In the next part of this video, I'll show you exactly how to use it correctly, where to place it depending on your pain, how long to wear it, and common mistakes that could be reducing its effectiveness. Trust me, the results are worth getting right. 2. Round pushpin: how to use the foot patch, placement, timing, and mistakes to avoid. Now that you understand how foot patches work and why they've become a trusted ally for many seniors seeking relief, let's get into the most important part: how to use them correctly. You see, as effective as these patches are, the results you get depend heavily on where you place them, when you apply them, and whether you're making small mistakes that could quietly sabotage your progress. From over a decade of working with older adults, I can tell you, even one tiny change in placement can mean the difference between waking up in pain or waking up free. So let's begin with placement. If you're dealing with knee pain, the most effective spot is just below the arch of your foot, close to the heel. This area, often called the Achilles point in reflexology, corresponds directly to your knees and lower joints. For lower back pain, you'll want to apply the patch right in the center of your foot, where the arch dips deepest. This point links to your lumbar spine and, when stimulated, can release tension built up from years of overuse or bad posture. And for upper body discomfort, whether it's shoulder stiffness or neck pain, the areas just beneath your big toe and pinky toe are essential, as they activate nerve pathways related to your shoulders, cervical spine, and upper back. Some of my patients, particularly those with tension headaches or chronic neck tightness, have seen great results by targeting the area about 2 centimeters beneath the second and third toes. But don't stop at placement. Timing plays a key role as well. I always advise applying the patch between 9 and 10 p.m., right before you sleep, because that's when your body naturally enters its rest and repair phase. While you're in deep sleep, circulation improves, inflammation drops, and your nervous system resets. Leaving the patch on for 8 to 12 hours during this healing window allows the ingredients, like capsaicin, salicylates, and menthol, to be absorbed steadily and effectively. What's more, never apply the patch to damp or oily skin. Clean, dry feet are essential. And please, never leave it on for more than 24 hours. Your skin needs to breathe, and prolonged use can cause irritation, especially for those with delicate or sensitive feet. If you tend to have cold feet or poor circulation, try soaking them in warm water for 5 minutes before applying the patch. This one small ritual can dramatically enhance absorption. Another mistake I often see is people applying the patch only to the side of the body where they feel pain. But our body systems are bilateral and deeply interconnected. Even if the pain is only in your left knee or right shoulder, the nervous system responds more efficiently when both feet are treated. So always apply the patch to both feet. And finally, if you've tried foot patches before but didn't feel much change, don't be too quick to give up. Often it's not the patch itself, but how it's being used, wrong spot, wrong time, or inconsistent routine. Healing doesn't always come from doing more. It comes from doing what's right, consistently and with care. And now that you know how to apply the patch with accuracy and intention, I want to share with you something even more powerful, the stories of people just like you, real seniors who were once stuck in pain and isolation, and who found a path forward through this simple but often overlooked solution. Because behind every patch, there's a person who got their life back. Let's meet them. 3. Bust in Silhouette Real Stories, Real Results. Seniors who transformed their lives with foot patches. Some stories never leave you, not because of what happened, but because of who they happened to. Over more than 10 years working with older adults, I've met people who thought pain was simply part of growing older, that their window for healing had closed. And yet, again and again, I've watched those beliefs dissolve, not through surgery or heavy medication, but through something as humble as a foot patch. Mr. David, 85 years old, came into my clinic in a wheelchair after battling severe osteoarthritis in both knees for decades. He looked tired, not just physically, but emotionally, and told me, "Doctor, I've tried everything. Surgeries, injections, medications. Nothing works." I looked him in the eye and said, "Just try this for 3 weeks." He did. 10 days later, he told me the swelling was down. By the 3rd week, he stood up. And not long after, he walked in his garden for the first time in 20 years. He came back smiling, and what he said still echoes in my mind. "Doctor, I feel like I got part of my life back." Then there's Carol, 72, who had lived hunched over a cane for years due to a herniated disc. After just 3 days using the patch, she walked into my office standing straight. "It's not just that I can move," she told me. "It's that I don't feel fragile anymore." And Ruth, 74 years old, a lifelong seamstress who hadn't held a needle in years because of the stiffness in her arthritic fingers. She applied the patch for knee pain, and to her surprise, her hands improved too. "I can stitch again," she said, eyes welling up. "It's like I got my hands and my joy back." These aren't dramatic miracles. They're everyday transformations that happen when we work with the body instead of against it. They didn't happen overnight. Some took days, others took weeks. But what united them was consistency, hope, and the willingness to try something new. That's the real power of the patch, not in the product itself, but in the possibility it represents. Healing doesn't always arrive with noise and fanfare. Sometimes it arrives quietly, overnight, in the form of waking up without pain for the first time in years. And if you've ever found yourself thinking, "Maybe I'm just too old to feel better," I want you to remember these people. Their stories aren't rare, they're reminders. Reminders that it's never too late to feel strong again, to move freely, to laugh without wincing. So if even one of these stories reminded you of your own journey or gave you a sense of hope, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which one spoke to you the most? Your words might just be what someone else needs to take the first step. And now, let's look at why these results aren't just emotional, they're biological. In the next section, I'll show you the scientific backbone behind all of this. How nerve endings in your feet, blood flow, inflammation, and the brain's healing chemistry come together to create what might feel like a miracle, but is actually how your body was designed to work all along. Let's keep going. 4. Brain, the science behind it. Why foot patches really work. At this point, you might be wondering how something as simple as placing a patch on your foot could possibly affect your knees, your back, or even your shoulders. And to be honest, I used to wonder the same thing. But after years of practice, observation, and reviewing both traditional theories and modern research, it became clear to me. This isn't a mystery, it's biology. The soles of your feet aren't just passive surfaces, they're some of the most neurologically active areas of your entire body. With more than 7,000 nerve endings densely packed into each foot, they serve as a gateway to your nervous system, and through that, to virtually every organ and musculoskeletal structure you depend on daily. In traditional Eastern medicine, this concept is known as reflexology, and while it was long considered alternative, recent studies from respected institutions, including Harvard Medical School, are now validating what healers have known for centuries. Stimulating specific zones on the feet can create a ripple effect through the body, relieving tension, improving organ function, and even reducing systemic inflammation. When a patch infused with therapeutic ingredients like capsaicin, menthol, and salicylates is applied to these zones, it does more than soothe the skin. Capsaicin increases blood flow by dilating peripheral vessels, allowing oxygen and nutrients to flood into tired tissues. Menthol produces a gentle cooling effect while interfering with pain signals at the nerve level. And salicylates, which are chemical cousins of aspirin, help calm inflammation where it starts. But beyond these chemical actions, the real power lies in the way these ingredients interact with your body's neural highways. When you stimulate the sole of your foot, especially at the right point, you activate a process called the cutaneous visceral reflex arc. This is a scientifically observed feedback loop in which stimulation of the skin sends signals through the spinal cord and back to internal organs or muscles, promoting balance, calming overactivity, and enhancing healing responses. It's one of the body's most elegant communication systems and most underutilized in conventional pain management. That's why, for many seniors who feel stuck in chronic pain, the foot patch feels like a breakthrough. It's not introducing something foreign or forcing the body to behave. It's awakening what's already within. It helps the body remember how to heal. And the results, improved circulation, reduced stiffness, and more restful sleep, aren't placebo. They're measurable, felt, and often life-changing. Another element that's frequently overlooked is detoxification. Gravity naturally pulls fluids and waste materials downward, which is why your legs and feet often feel heavier at the end of the day. The soles of the feet contain not only nerve endings, but also a vast capillary network and lymphatic access points that make them ideal locations for drawing out metabolic waste. This is one reason why some users notice residue or discoloration on the patch after a full night of use. It's a visible signal that the body is releasing something it no longer needs. And in my view, that's one of the most empowering parts of the healing journey, not just relieving symptoms, but letting go of what's been holding you back, physically and emotionally. So if you've ever doubted whether the body can still respond at 70, 80, or even 90, this science should give you confidence. Because the body doesn't forget how to heal, it just needs the right signals, in the right places, at the right time. And now that you understand the why, let me show you how to make it work even better. In the next section, we'll talk about the little things, habits, routines, and techniques that can boost the patch's effectiveness and help your results last longer. From hydration to a simple ankle movement before bed, these tips might seem small, but together, they can transform your healing process into something even more powerful. Let's continue. 5. Toolbox Small Habits, Big Results, How to Boost the Effectiveness of Foot Patches. Now that you understand how foot patches work and why they can trigger deep, meaningful healing from the bottom up, let's talk about how to make them work even better, because sometimes it's the small habits, the quiet rituals, that decide whether your recovery is gradual or transformative. Over the years, I've observed a simple truth among my older patients. Those who support the patch with just a few consistent lifestyle tweaks often report stronger, faster, and longer-lasting results than those who use the patch alone. One of the most important things you can do is hydrate, and I don't mean casually sipping water. I mean intentional, regular hydration throughout the day. You see, the active ingredients in a foot patch travel through your circulatory system, and water is the medium that helps transport those compounds where they're needed. Without adequate hydration, circulation slows, lymphatic drainage weakens, and the detoxification benefits of the patch are diminished. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water per day, more if you're in a hot climate or on diuretics. And don't just drink water after applying the patch, start early, so your system is primed for healing by the time you lie down at night. Another powerful but often forgotten technique is ankle rotation. Before bed, or even while sitting during the day, gently rotate each ankle 10 times clockwise and 10 times counterclockwise. It may sound simple, even silly, but this movement boosts circulation to the feet, warms the tissue, and helps the patch adhere to a more receptive surface. It's like opening a window before letting in fresh air. You create the ideal conditions for healing ingredients to be absorbed more effectively. If your feet tend to be cold, stiff, or dry, consider a quick 5-minute warm foot soak before applying the patch. Not only does this relax the muscles, but it also dilates surface blood vessels, improving delivery of the patch's active compounds through the skin. I often tell my patients, think of this as signaling your body that something good is about to happen. The more prepared your feet are, the more they can receive. Foot massage is another hidden gem. Using a small tennis ball or golf ball, roll the sole of your foot slowly for about a minute, applying gentle pressure as tolerated. This helps to break up facial tension and stimulates nerve endings, making the skin more responsive to stimulation. Many of my patients have made this a nightly ritual, saying it not only improves the effectiveness of the patch, but also helps them sleep better and wake up with lighter, less puffy legs. And then there's movement. Yes, even just a little. A slow 5-minute walk around your living space after dinner can do wonders. Movement activates the calf muscles, often called the second heart, which pump blood and lymph fluid from your lower limbs back to the rest of your body. Even if you can't walk far, standing and lifting your heels off the ground a few times helps tremendously. Remember, circulation is the highway, and the patch is the passenger. It's your job to keep traffic flowing. Finally, never underestimate the role of sleep posture. If you're dealing with lower back or knee pain, placing a pillow between your knees while sleeping on your side can keep your spine aligned and relieve unnecessary tension. If neck pain is a concern, ensure your pillow supports not just your head, but also the natural curve of your neck. Healing happens while you rest. Don't let poor posture undo what the patch is trying to repair. These habits may seem small, but their effect is cumulative. When paired with the foot patch, they create the conditions your body needs to do what it's always been capable of: healing itself. And now that you're equipped with the tools to support your recovery, it's time to address one final piece of the puzzle: the most common questions, concerns, and safety tips I've received over the years from older adults just like you. From how long it takes to feel results, to what to do if your skin reacts, to whether essential oils can be a good substitute. I'll walk you through it all, honestly and clearly, so you can move forward with full confidence. Let's answer what's on your mind. 6. FAQs, safety tips and alternatives, what you need to know before you begin. Before you start your own journey with foot patches, it's natural to have questions about safety, timing, expectations, and even alternatives. In fact, I'd be concerned if you didn't have a few hesitations. That's why I've taken the most common questions I've received from older patients over the past 10 years and condensed them here, not as a sales pitch, but as honest, experience-based guidance to help you get the most out of this process. One of the most frequent questions is, how long will it take before I feel anything? The truth is, healing doesn't run on a fixed timeline. I've seen some patients report noticeable improvement in 3 to 5 days, while others, especially those dealing with long-term, chronic inflammation, require a consistent 3 to 4 weeks to see clear results. But don't be discouraged by that. Healing, especially in older bodies, is not about speed, it's about sustainability. The second question I often hear is, are there any side effects? For the vast majority of people, foot patches are extremely well tolerated. The ingredients, capsaicin, menthol, and salicylates, are commonly used in topical pain relievers. However, for those with sensitive skin, it's always wise to test a small patch on a limited area of the foot first. If you notice redness, itching, or any irritation, remove the patch and give your skin a few days to rest. Most reactions, if any, are mild and temporary. And of course, never apply the patch on broken, cracked, or infected skin. Another question that comes up is, can I use this if I have diabetes? Now, this is important. If you have diabetes, you already know how critical it is to monitor your feet daily for changes in sensation, skin color, and texture. Using a foot patch is not automatically dangerous, but I always advise diabetic patients to inspect their feet before and after every use. If anything seems off, especially changes in circulation or skin health, consult your physician first. Caution is not fear, it's wisdom. Some ask, what if I can't find the exact foot patches you recommend? While it's true that not all foot patches are created equal, the key is to look for those containing the 3 core ingredients we've discussed: capsaicin to open blood vessels, salicylates to reduce inflammation, and menthol to cool and calm the nerves. You can find these at most pharmacies or reputable health stores, often labeled for joint or muscle relief. When in doubt, ask the pharmacist or feel free to bring a list of ingredients you trust. Others ask, what if I can't use foot patches at all due to allergies or other conditions? In those cases, I often recommend using essential oils as a gentle, accessible alternative. Peppermint, eucalyptus, and lavender oils, when diluted properly and massaged into the soles of the feet before bed, can stimulate many of the same nerve points, relax the muscles, and prepare the body for rest. While the effect may not be as targeted or potent as a full patch, it's a meaningful way to support the body when patches aren't an option. And finally, perhaps the most common question of all, is it too late for me? My answer is always the same: absolutely not. I've worked with patients in their late 80s and early 90s who experienced incredible shifts, not just in their joints, but in their confidence, their mobility, and their connection to the people they love. Healing isn't about age. It's about the choice to care. So if something in your heart is saying, maybe this could help, I encourage you to listen. Try it once. Try it again. Stay consistent. Observe. Adjust. And give your body the respect of time. Because often, what we call a breakthrough is simply the result of showing up, gently and repeatedly, for our own well-being. And now, after all you've learned, there's only one thing left to do: take action. In the final section, I'll leave you with a message from the heart. A summary of everything we've covered, a final reminder of what's possible, and a gentle but firm nudge to start. Because your healing doesn't begin with a patch. It begins with a decision. So here we are, after exploring how foot patches work, where to place them, how to maximize their effect, and hearing the powerful stories of real seniors who transformed their lives with something as simple as a patch on the sole of their feet. It all comes down to this. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Because no matter how compelling the science, how relatable the stories, or how well you understand the method, change only begins when you take that first step. And I say that not just as a healthcare professional with more than a decade of experience working with older adults, but as someone who's seen the difference between those who hope and those who act. I've watched people in their 70s and 80s go from barely making it down the hallway to walking through their gardens with confidence, not because they discovered a miracle, but because they made a decision to believe that better was still possible, and to show up for themselves, night after night, patch after patch. And the truth is, it's not about the patch, it's about you. The patch is a tool, but you are the healer. You are the one who decides if you'll try it once, try it again, and stay patient long enough to let your body respond. I know you've been through a lot: pain, frustration, maybe even hopelessness. I know what it feels like when nothing seems to work anymore. But if you've made it this far into the video, if something inside you is still open, still curious, still willing to try, then that means your story isn't over. Not even close. And I want to speak directly to that part of you right now, the part that hasn't given up. The part that's tired of just surviving and ready to start living again. This might be the smallest thing you do today, placing a patch on your foot before bed. But sometimes, the smallest actions carry the most weight. So here's my invitation. Give your body one more chance. Not a rushed chance. Not a desperate one. But a committed, thoughtful, hopeful chance. And do it for you. For your legs that still want to move. For your back that wants to stand tall. For your hands that want to hold the people you love. If this video has helped you understand your body better, if it's given you hope, or even just a sense of curiosity, then please take a moment to support this message. Click the like button below. It's a small gesture that tells YouTube and the world that seniors deserve better solutions. And if you want more videos like this, practical, science-backed, and made with real care for people over 60, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future update. We're building a community here, one where aging doesn't mean giving up, and where knowledge is the bridge back to independence. And finally, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share your story. Have you ever tried a foot patch? What's worked for you? What hasn't? Or are you thinking about trying it for the first time? Your words matter, not just to me, but to every other person reading the comments who's looking for someone to relate to. Healing is personal, but it doesn't have to be lonely. So thank you for being here, for caring, and for believing that something better is still possible. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your feet, take care of your body, and most importantly, take care of yourself.